5,
Count me in, coach.
4, 3, 2, and 1.
Another episode, Rob's Rant and Ramble. Welcome back. I didn't want to do it, man. I've been telling myself over and over again, I am not going to do a topic on AI. It's so cliche. Everybody's doing topics on AI, but I can't stay away from it. It's just too relevant, man. It's too much going on. A lot going on with AI. First of all, I want to start it off by saying there's been some massive layoffs in the corporate sector going on. And it seems like every time I open up my news feed, Google, Coinbase, Meta, they're all laying people off, right? And so it's interesting, right? It's just these giant layoffs. You would think that we're in a massive recession, but not in a recession. We're actually doing pretty well. The S&P 500, the index stocks, they're all doing well, right? There's economic prosperity going on. It's all-time highs for the NASDAQ. But yeah, we're having layoffs, which a lot of people are always circling back like, hey, if we got so many layoffs, why on earth why are we having so many layoffs if we have such good economics, right? If the S&P is doing so well. So companies, what do we got? Meta, Amazon, Walmart.
So just some of the biggest one, Amazon, thousands of employees. Some companies I've never heard of in my entire life. Cloudflare, 20% of its global workforce. Coinbase, you mentioned, 14% of its staff. Crypto.com, 12% of its staff. Dell, Donald Trump's favorite computer, 10% of its workforce is being cut out. Nice. It goes on and on and on, every single sector.
But you know what I'm seeing as the common thread here for the reason behind the layoffs is they keep prefacing AI, right? They'll say, we're laying off due to AI, and they've been talking about it. They've been talking about it, all the time, right? Sam Altman's going on podcasts. Elon Musk has been warning it. It's expert after expert coming in and saying like AI will replace you. It's going to take your jobs. And well, I mean, you got to think like, is this actually happening? Is this the reason behind it? Well, it's something that's it's here, man. We are getting replaced.
You want to take a guess of the top 5 jobs AI is going to take?
What's that?
You got to guess. That's the game.
Oh, I'm going to say accountant.
Accountant is not on the top 5.
Okay. The phone operator person. Who's the
customer service? That's number 1.
There it is.
Okay. There's 4 more.
Okay. One person you can't replace is Big Rob over here. There's just too much randomness in here. You can't predict that. No AI model can predict that. Number 2, I would say, I have no idea.
Admin.
Admin. Okay. Yeah. What else?
Data entry. Number 3 is something in our world. Graphic designers.
Graphic design. You know what? It is you can pretty much do anything visually, right? Photoshop. What used to take a college education and you had to have proficiency and experience with Photoshop and Premiere Pro and all of these video editing and graphic software. Now you can just punch in a code or write a prompt and then boom, pops out a fully graphic thing. I mean, the White House is doing it, right? I mean, if the White House got lazy, then damn well the rest of the world just gave up, right? I mean, the White House, literally the top tier, the head of the United States government, the most prosperous. Is prosperous a word?
No.
Prosperous.
Prosperous.
So the most prosperous country out there. They don't even bother hiring a graphic designer. You go look at the X handle for the White House, and it's just nothing but AI generated slop, right? And so, like, my thing is if it's, you got some AI slop over there?
I do, yeah.
What do you got?
So here's one.
This is from the White House handle?
Yeah, this is all White House handle. Here's all their images.
Yeah, they're not even he's got some gifts up
That's
there.
a GIF, yeah.
How much of the White House handle do you think Donald Trump is actually posting himself?
0.
Zero?
The White House, 0.
The White House?
His personal,
Yeah, I guess
it's his words, but yeah. You know what? I'm not seeing a lot of AI on the White House one.
I've seen a bunch on there though, man.
On the Trump,
The nice one there.
Cinco Deported.
No. See the nice. That's definitely AI.
Well, yeah.
100%. That's AI. And so but the thing is like you're not seeing a graphics team make anything, right? That's AI there. Obviously, they didn't hire a.
They didn't tell Jerome Powell, go jump in a dumpster.
Jerome Powell just was his final day today. But here's the thing: they have an unlimited budget. They got damn well, whoever the hell is behind the White House handle, they could be like, hey. Can I get a graphic designer to help me make some posts? Do you think anyone would be like, no, that's not in the budget? Like literally, they're in charge of printing money. So if the White House gave up on hiring a person to make graphics, and I mean it's pretty much it's toast. But you got to ask yourself because this is the way I look at it, right? If these companies are in record profit. If the S&P 500 is at all-time highs, then you got to ask yourself this. Hear me out on this one. Are they using AI as an excuse? Because it seems eerily convenient, right? You ever had like a place you didn't? Okay, so I got kids. You got kids too. So you ever like get invited somewhere and you didn't really want to go? What is your response? It's never, I don't feel like going to that. It sounds kind of whack. John, you're not that fun to hang out with. Last time I hung out at your barbecue was weird. Like, you're not going to say any of this. So what do you default back to? You always say something to the line of, oh, I'm busy. I got to pick up my kids from school. I got to go drop this out. My wife. You use everything that people know is part of busy life. And you attach yourself to that. Now, everybody's expecting AI to take jobs. But how efficient is AI really? I mean, it does certain things better. But I mean, can you say that Amazon literally can scrap 20% of the workforce and replace it with AI? Because I'll tell you who's not being replaced by AI is the guy driving by and leaving packages at my door at 4 a.m. because I needed overnight delivery.
Listen to this number, Rob. 14,000 roles were eliminated from Amazon. Roles. How many people fill those roles? You want?
That's what I'm telling you. It's a facade. It's a facade.
You want to see something wild?
And so what I think is happening is that they are just trimming the fat. Elon Musk did it when he went to X, right? Elon Musk didn't blame it on AI, right? When he went to X and he like cut like 80% of the workforce, he wasn't like, hey, AI is going to do this better. He was just like, this is massively inefficient. And we can cut a lot of the staff here. Layoffs are coming. And then he did that, right? But he was very transparent. I don't think that Amazon and Meta, I don't think they're doing that. And so what I think is happening is that they're just hiding behind the fact that like, hey, yeah, AI is, we're replacing a lot of roles with AI. Yeah, the AI, yeah. Sorry guys, y'all got to go.
And a lot of it for Elon was cultural overhaul too. He didn't like the extreme hardcore left wing.
But so there's two sides of the coin here. You got the actual jobs that are being replaced by AI, because I'm not ignorant to the idea that some people are getting laid off, and those people particularly have been replaced by a computer. It is here. I'm not delusional. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. I'm just saying that I think that there's an opportunity to trim the fat as far as being a company and trying to make more and more profits. And in doing so, you're like, hey, AI is here. We don't need so much workforce. And so on the other side of the coin, though, you got to think on the other side of the coin, if you have an AI that is replacing you, then at this point, like, I mean, that's the reality. That's where we're at. And the practices by these companies are interesting. Because like, what if you knew the AI was going to replace you? let's say you had like 6 months. Let's say you were in admin. You were working the call center at customer service for an insurance company. And you know that 2 other branches, the branch in Northern California and the branch in New York, they laid everybody off that did call center. But you're sitting there in Texas, you're like, oh yeah, this is coming. And now all of a sudden your boss comes up to you and they say to you like, hey, we're going to need you to, in this computer program, in this prompt, just type out all of your work activities. Let me know, put in list format, everything that you're responsible for and what you do on your day-to-day tasks. You know what that is, right? That is you're training your replacement. We know that's happening. And so you got to find yourself in a situation where if you know you're going to be training your replacement, someone comes up to you and says, hey, why don't you upload the last 10 years of your time here at the company and we'll put it in this software here and we're just doing an audit to see, how productive everybody is. But in actuality, you're just training yourself. You're training your replacement, your robot replacement.
So would you sabotage it?
Well, I don't know. Because here's the thing. What if it is an actual audit? And in there, I'm like, 2-hour coffee break.
Who takes a 2-hour coffee break?
That's what I'm saying. Like my 15-minute pickleball session I get a 15-minute break. Leave it alone. The labor force says that I'm entitled to it. So it becomes an interesting situation. Would you train your replacement, Dave?
Yeah, but all the wrong ways.
Yeah.
I'd make them want to come back. For the people that are wondering, what are the last 2 top replaceable jobs? You have customer service number 1, data entry number 2, number 3 was graphic designers, number 4, writers, script writers, number 5, paralegals.
Yeah, I think, the time of writing books, because a lot of people just mail it now, right? I think a lot of people, if somebody went to a publisher and was like, I wrote a book, what is the likelihood that person actually wrote every word on that paper?
Less than 5%.
Exactly. But then you got to say to yourself, what maybe a book editor, maybe that job is going to disappear. Perhaps a book editor will pale into comparison the deliverables from an AI model, right? Maybe you write an entire book and you give it to an editor. And the editor spends 2 months rewriting it and putting in, changing words and rephrasing stuff. That's essentially what editors do, right? They make it more marketable. They make it a little bit more palatable. They take, it's an outside perspective for somebody that knows how to write a book, and then just read your book and then just kind of redo it. That's what an editor does. But that takes 2 months. And then you got to say, who's going to do it better? That dude that probably just hangs out in his cabin or whatever and he eats Cheetos and that's his thing. He just gets all liquored up and then maybe he's halfway decent sometimes. And some books he did well, some books he didn't. And now you got to think to yourself, would an AI model who could spit it out in minutes, if not seconds, rewrite the whole book for you? Will they deliver better? So I don't know. I don't even trust books. That's why I'm only going to do podcasts. But then you got AI podcasts too. That shit's creepy. And it's starting to sound more and more like real life. It's hard to distinguish. I don't even know what the hell AI video is anymore. Right? You've heard those AI narrated videos? Those things are pretty compelling. We're only a year, maybe 2 years away before it becomes indistinguishable. And the only giveaway would be to physically watching it with video. Because then at that point, you can't, we're not there yet. We're probably 4 or 5 years, if not longer, before a person that does a podcast, they're indistinguishable from an AI podcast as far as me here sitting at a desk with the little props and stuff. That's the longer time away, right? There's a longer time horizon on that one. But that's why you gotta stick to video podcast. Otherwise, you ain't gonna know what the hell's real. We got an algorithm over here preaching to you.
You know, you mentioned these companies cutting off. Take a look at these earnings here. Meta, they beat their earnings by $3.77. Forecasted 6.667, came in at 10.4.
But yet they're doing layoffs. That's
Exactly.
my whole premise is that.
And here's Walmart. They beat theirs too by a penny.
But are they making more money because of the AI or because of the employees? And so, like, a lot of times you overcorrect too. And so you might think of it like perhaps these companies will essentially lay off a ton of people, leverage AI. AI doesn't perform as well as a community of people, and then maybe we revert. Maybe the pendulum swings back the other way, and people are laying off AI agents. It's kind of interesting. Would you give an AI agent per diem or like what?
No, just give it some positive reinforcement. Good job. Way to go. Keep it up.
But yeah, I mean, it all kind of ties in. I obviously think that inflation is something that plays a key role into this because, the dollar's worth, less and less. And so, just by the sheer printing the U.S. government does, the valuations of these companies are going to keep growing, right? A $1 trillion company will eventually be a $2 trillion company because there's twice as much money out there, or there's twice as, or the value of the dollar is cut in half. And so, you got to kind of like think about it. Like what is profits, right? And with inflation, I mean, everything, it's hard out here to survive, right? And I'm not gonna sit here and talk about like gasoline but something I realize is that I'm a young perky chicken here, and I like to hit the dating scene, and dates are getting crazy expensive, dude. Like going out here for a nice dinner, movie, whatever it is, like it's getting pricey as hell. Now, like a dinner. A nice dinner, it's what, like $200, $300, and then that's for my budget. Which like fine dining for the average American is probably like Chick-fil-A now, right? They're like, hey, you know what? I normally do Taco Bell, top ramen, cup noodle, and today I'm gonna splurge. Me and my boo-boo, we going to Chick-fil-A. Like, right? I mean, don't you, I mean, I'm not tripping. I'm not even trying to be funny here. I'm like genuinely in the camp that Chick-fil-A, perhaps throw Five Guys in there, are now considered fine dining.
Get out of here. No.
No?
No.
Okay, let me ask you. If you're 20 years old, 2 years out of high school, you still got a crappy job, you can barely afford your apartment, you're taking your girl out to eat, I mean, what are your options, dude?
Applebee's.
Chili's.
Five Guys.
That is fat. But that's like fine dining fine. That's like birthday, anniversary. That's where you go. But I think like you just want to go out and get a good meal. Like you're going to Chick-fil-A, dude.
Chick-fil-A's pretty good.
Yeah. Which, with AI, it's like it brings up an interesting thing, right? Because like you're starting to get priced out of dating. And so like a lot of what we're seeing on like these podcasts, there's a lot of this like testosterone driven podcasts, like Andrew Tate. There's a ton of people trying to mimic him and all of his buddies, and whatever. They're entertaining. I'll watch a good podcast on Andrew Tate. The guy's all over the place, 100 miles an hour. Like it's entertaining. But anyways, there is a big appetite for these masculine driven podcasts, and I think it's because people just aren't dating. People just aren't out there. They can't afford it. Like you can't afford to go on a date. And so like if you can't afford to go on a date, what are you going to do? Right? I mean, you can get like an AI girlfriend. That's always an option. Which I think are become increasingly more realistic, right? Because we have all these like weird dolls you can order, those like rubber dolls or whatever it is. It's only a matter of time before there's a computer chip and these dolls are going to speak back to you, right? Or talk to you, chat with you. That's coming, dude. Or better yet, there's probably going to be an app. Hear me out on this one. And actually, I think I might start this idea, a dating app that's subscription based, right? So you've seen these subscriptions where they like send you products and then they like change it out like every week or every month or whatever it is. Like, it's like, I used to have a coffee one, right? So every 2 weeks I would get a new coffee from a different location. You had Ethiopia, then you had like Madagascar coffee. You know, these have like a sausage of the month club kind of thing. But like, let's do that for dating. Let's just do an app.
Sausage of the month.
An app for dating. So you pay like $1,000 a month, right? Or $500 a month. And every week they just send you a new girlfriend. And or a new girl you go on a date with. And then you don't have to call her back. You don't have to like call her before. You don't have to like, well, he waited 3 days. Like, we don't give a damn. We're going to move on to the next one. And then you can like put your preferences in there. I think it's a great idea. You know, replace, because the thing is you can't afford to be married nowadays. You can't do it because of this repeated dating. But if you just you do 1 date a week, you pay your $1,000. It includes like a ticket, like a voucher to go eat at Chick-fil-A or Applebee's, whatever you want to go to, brother. And it's an all-in-one encompassing. So $1,000, you get 2 dates a month. And you get a voucher to go eat at Cheesecake Factory. Boom. Great business model. Like, I'm telling you, you find love, you get to try different flavors, and it includes a free meal too.
You got a lot of simps out there that'll go on 1 date and propose, you know?
You think so?
Yeah.
No, I think the reason people simp and the reason people propose because they got nothing else to fall back on. Why do you think guys always propose? Like, how many guys you know that have that toxic girlfriend? They don't, you know damn well, like, what the hell are you doing, bro? Like, how many guys do you know that are dating some girl that you just repeatedly ask over and over again, like, what are you doing? Why? And then they'll end up proposing to him. It's always that guy that has the most toxic situation. He's like, yeah, we're engaged. I'm like, what? Like, why? It's because you got no other options. You got one girl that's like, hey, like, this man takes me to Chick-fil-A. This man really takes care of me. And the reality of it is this guy just knows he ain't going to get nothing else. He's just going to lock this thing down. This toxic piece of shit. He's going to back her up. Now, if you have a subscription-based model, think of it this way. You got a subscription-based model. Now, you're not going to get married. You're not going to propose, bro. Why not? Because you know that next week there's another one coming in. Right?
You're giving a majority of men too much credit.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm giving men no credit. Because they lock in, they propose because they got nothing else going on. But maybe, I don't know. But like, you think girls would like that situation? I'm thinking about it from a male perspective.
Depends. Are they in their hoe phase?
If they're in their hoe phase, but then they get a new guy, they wine and dine them every time. Well, then they get the food coupon. Yeah, I don't know. It's just.
A Groupon. Make Groupon great again.
The reality is just that dating is just it's you're outpriced in dating. That's just what it is, right? So I mean, we just talked about restaurants. Like, you got luxury goods now, which is like going to a football game. Going to a sporting event is now flexing. I used to grow up and you would just go to a game. You would go to a baseball game. You would go to a football game. You would go to a basketball game. You pay your $30. You go in. You watch the game. It was like going to the bar, right? You can go to the bar or you can go watch a game. Maybe it's a little bit more expensive than going to the bar, but not by much. Now, you pull up, what is it, StubHub? Vivid Seats? Good luck finding anything under $300. And then they got the fees on there. You're talking about $1,000 to go watch a game, sports venue, or a concert, replace football with, Bruno Mars or whoever it is. So this is now a luxury item. Like, you got to be privileged to go out to a sporting event or a concert. And then, like, once you get in, then you got those drinks, right? Bottled water's $12. Yeah, EDC is very famous for that. Mm-hmm. Here in Las Vegas, you got EDC, bottled water, things like $20 or $15 or whatever it is. It's a hot dog is $15. And so, like, try going to EDC. You got the concert ticket. You're going to get set back a few, $500. Then you got the food, another couple $100. And then, yeah, luxury, bro. And that's it. And then there the people that routinely go to these things, what are the traveling circus, traveling carnival people, like, that's their whole paycheck, bro.
Traveling carnival people?
Yeah, it used to be a traveling circus, right? Mm. You would like follow, or
so like those pumpkin patches and stuff.
Yeah, but these carnival goers, they go to Burning Man, and then they go to EDC, and then Coachella, and whatever the next one is. Like, that's their whole life. They just bounce from one to the other, and they work. But because this is a luxury item, you can't just casually go to these. Like, you work a 9 to 5, and then you methodically plan out your vacations to align with these events. And so you work your 9 to 5, and then you set your vacations up for when you're not working, and then you save all of your money just to buy a bottle of water and a hot dog. Like, that is your savings account. Like, you have a savings, you have a checking account. Your checking account is just for you to get by. Then you have a savings account. It literally is just titled hot dog and bottle of water. That's because it's a luxury. Movie theaters are the same shit. Took my kids to the movie theater, $100-something. Just for the tickets. Popcorn, another $100.
Do you buy the big popcorn that's refillable?
I don't know what happens. I just give my kids the card, and then money comes out of the account. Not just change, like large transactions come out. And then they got candies, they got popcorn. I don't know. We never eat it all, so a refill just doesn't even make sense to me. Like, if you could eat an entire large popcorn to yourself and then have the gall to go get a refill, congratulations to you. Matter of fact, I'm surprised you made it to the movie theater. Like, because I'm just imagining you're grossly overweight.
Obese.
100% obese. Vacations are expensive. You can't do a vacation for less than $4,000. I don't even care if it's a staycation. Hotel, the travel expenses, airport foods, $20-$30. I don't know, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, it is hard out here to survive. And so if you're planning on dating and doing anything relatively fun than sitting at home and watching Netflix, like, you got no chance. You got to be a multi-millionaire to keep a woman entertained. Or you do a subscription-based $1,000 or $500 a month, and you get a girl to your door every 2 weeks, and it comes with a cheesecake voucher. That is how you date at a $50,000 a year average salary as an American. It's coming, man. Either that or you just get an AI girlfriend. If you can't afford the subscription, AI girlfriend. That's it right there. AI is replacing everything. You don't think it's going to replace a woman?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, think about how many guys watch porn. So, like...
You ever watch AI porn?
No. You know what? I clicked on one of the thumbnails for it, and it's too short. I'm waiting for that thing to become like a full 1 hour video, you know? So you have I need storyline, man. You know, come in, like... Take off the jean jacket and then, progress, jump around, different positions.
You see that one movie with Megan Fox
No, which one is that?
where she's a robot?
Uh-uh.
I'll find the movie title for you.
Okay. What are we gonna talk about now? I got everyone's a China expert.
Subservience.
Subservience.
Yeah, and the dude ends up sleeping with her. She's
A robot?
a robot. Yeah, a humanoid.
Yeah, he had the EX Machina or whatever it was.
Ex Machina.
Ex Machina? Yeah, that's what it was.
Never seen that one.
You haven't seen it? It's a good movie. It was way ahead of its time. That movie came out before AI and robotics was at the level it is now. And it was quite interesting. But I wrote down here, everyone's, because I was doing some research. I was just trying to see what's like trending. And it was video after video of like people talking about China and oil. Like everybody now is an oil expert. Like they're an oil engineer. They've like traded oil and all kinds of other commodities, natural gas, their entire lifetime apparently. And now they speak about it as experts, man. And it's interesting because it's like you got the fry cook at In-N-Out. He clocks out, and then now he's been working the oil on the fryer, but that clear little gold oil, he just takes all the attributes and then just transfers it over to a podcast where now all of a sudden he's an oil expert, and he's talking about the Strait of Hormuz, and he's talking about the terrorist organizations, their rise to power, how ISIS was ultimately created by the U.S. And I'm just like, dude. Like, where is your experience? Like, where did you get the gall to talk about this? And it's, I think it's because we lost trust in the reputable
Media,
right? And so now, by default, we've fallen prey to the In-N-Out fryer cook. He now has more attention than CNN does.
Technically, he knows more about oil than you do because he'd be frying them fries in the oil.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, he's taking very, very far comparisons. He's like, well, I know oil. I clean filter oil all the time. I know the flash boiling point of oil. I know which one of the fire extinguishers to use. You can't use the regular red one. Not if there's a grease fire. You got to use that big silver one. So, I mean, is he an expert? Yeah, I would say yes. And like, who would you rather listen to? Would you rather listen to the Exxon executive that is a Harvard graduate that worked, in different office buildings, never once even touched oil, never even had his fingers between any kind of oil, motor oil, gasoline,
baby oil,
baby, probably baby oil, but has zero experience. All he is Harvard educated, hired through the ranks of the Exxon Corporation. I mean, who's more of an oil expert? Is it that gentleman or is it the In-N-Out fryer cook? And also the In-N-Out fryer cook has detached himself from mainstream political media. And he's just literally pumping his lawnmower full of gasoline. And he's out here really paying attention to the price of gas. Because that Harvard executive, I mean, is he really going to be set back financially by an increase on gas prices of 25 cents? Absolutely not. But the guy out here cutting lawns, working his In-N-Out job, more than likely, he's going to feel a sting on that 25% gasoline price rise. So who's more qualified? I'd argue it's the In-N-Out fryer cook. Makes sense to me. Then there's the pandemic experts. That was also a good one. Everybody, you remember during COVID? There's a lot of remember COVID things, And it was like about to shut down. The one thing that always got my ass, though, the one thing that really surprised me, remember when they were putting everybody on ventilators, which ultimately we ended up finding out was killing people. But you remember when they put everybody on ventilators? And there wasn't enough ventilators to put everybody on ventilators. And then all of a sudden, there was all these YouTube videos on how to make a ventilator. And they're like, guys, I made a ventilator. Did you ever see these videos?
No.
So it was like somebody would take like a coffee can and then like puncture a hookah hose into it. And then next thing you know, they got like a turbine in here from from a ceiling fan. And they're like, guys, I made a ventilator. And now this is how you make ventilators. You never saw these videos?
No, I'm trying to find one.
That right there is, I think, ultimately the culture that we live in now. Not only do you have the fryer guy as an expert, but now you have the TikTok mom over here telling you how to make a ventilator to incubate a person that has trouble breathing for COVID. And did you find it yet? I'm on the edge of my seat. It's been a while since I saw one of those videos.
I mean, do any of these look familiar?
Nah, it was usually like it was like some like at home like TikTok mom. She was say like build a ventilator. Yeah, see, like these are all 6 years ago. And yeah, there was basically a shortage of ventilators. But the interesting part was that now in hindsight, we saw that the people that ended up on ventilators were more likely to die than people that weren't. But you can always make an argument that like, hey, if you're on a ventilator, you're on a deathbed anyways. But they did like a study where like they saw the people that were never ventilated that were in, critical stages of COVID. And then they looked at the people that were ventilated. If you were ventilated, you were pretty much toast. Like your chance of survival was like 20% or something like that. So, but it's just interesting how like experts just pop out of nowhere. And, and the interesting thing is like, I feel like they're trying to do this whole COVID thing again, right? I think they're like testing the waters. We got the hantavirus. Like, does anybody think for a second that this hantavirus is going to spread across the country and take everybody out? Like, we all know that it's BS, but they're like testing the water. They're like throwing a stone into the pond here just to see like what happens. They're like, can we run this one again? They're like, what happened? Because remember last time in COVID, it was cruise ship, COVID, then they got out, whatever it was, shut down, right? Is it at all coincidence that it happens to be cruise ship, new virus, quarantine? It is. It cannot be a coincidence. It cannot be. What it is the government. They're like, hey, it's been 6 years. You think we can get away with that? Like somebody up there is like, I don't think so, man. We lost a lot of trust. Like a lot of people are going to call BS on that one. They're like, and then there's one jackass is like, I don't know, man. He's like, how about we just run a test? We do one cruise ship. We call it the hantavirus. We do one cruise ship, hantavirus. We see what happens. If I'm right, you buy me some Chick-fil-A.
What is it with you and Chick-fil-A?
Because it's the luxury item, man. I would say something like a Ferrari, a new Mercedes, but that's like Elon Musk status. But they're testing the waters, bro. I'm telling you. That's exactly what it was. They wanted to see if they can play that game again, right? Like if you watch like a sports game, like a football game, right? What ends up happening if a team is up by a lot, right? Say a team is up by 40, 50 points or something like that, 20 points. And you're getting in the third quarter, fourth quarter. Only way you're going to come back and win that game, the only way you're going to come back and win is if the quarterback throws the ball down the field and tries to score as many touchdowns as he can by just lobbing the ball. But what ends up happening, the defense will always set up and they're in their little prevent defense or whatever it is. Anyways, the team that's winning knows that's going to happen. But what do they do anyways? What does the team that is way behind do anyways? And it drives sports fans crazy, is that they try to run the ball. You're like, bro, you're down by 30 points. Why the fuck are you trying to run the ball right now? Like, who are you kidding? Why? Because they're testing the waters. They're trying to see if they can get away with that shit. They're like, hey man, we're gonna run the ball. We're set. We're set on running the ball. Like, we're gonna do it. But nobody believes them. But they do it anyways, just to see if they can fool you. That's what they're doing with this cruise ship, bro. That's what they're doing with the cruise ship. The cruise ship, they're like, there is a lot of smart people at the government, and they're like, we cannot get away with this again. Like, it's not gonna happen. And there's one jackass that's like, let's test it out. Cruise ship, new virus.
I vote to just get rid of all cruise ships and cruises.
Cruise ship is
It's a cesspool.
it is the pinnacle of a peasant vacation.
Wow.
It is.
What if you just want to gamble?
You can gamble anywhere now. No, but here's the thing. It is the dream scenario for trailer park vacation. You have, and you pull up these videos of these cruise ships, they look awful. They look absolutely disgusting. It's like a small pool, and in that pool, it's at like 95% capacity. You can't even get your full body in the water. It's only like penis height. And then from there, the rest of the body's sticking out. You're just sweating. There's just drinks, there's margaritas just pouring into the pool. There's sweat and pee-pee. That is the cocktail that you're just standing penis level into. And that's that. And then you got the slide that plunges you into the bacteria pool. And then you have, like, what is it? A handful of restaurants that you have to eat at. There's usually one nice restaurant. Then, like, you're pretty much guaranteed to get sick, either seasick or food poisoning. And then you're stuck, bro. There's no escape. You're stuck. And then the thing is, it's just floating out there, bro. You can't get in the water. Like, if I'm going to get on a boat, man, I want to jump in the water, right? I want to jump in. Or I want to go fishing. What kind of shit is that? You get on a boat and you can't go fishing and you can't jump in the water? It's asinine, bro. All it is an all-inclusive package for the person that can't afford it. Because like I said, a vacation is $4,000. But you can find some special $1,600, $1,600. You can get a cruise, all included, drinks and food. You're looking at it. You can't afford anything. Can't afford a date. And you're like, babe, $1,600. We can have a 1-week vacation on a cruise ship, and all the food and drinks are included. Don't mind you're drinking that big plastic handle that you get from Walmart for the liquor, the one that just says gin. It doesn't have a brand. It's just GIN. And then yeah, the food is all hot dogs and popcorn. It's disgusting to me, bro.
Can we talk about Akash Singh and his wife?
Who?
Akash Singh and his wife.
Who's that?
You know who Akash Singh is? Have you ever seen the Flagrant podcast with Andrew Schultz?
No.
What?
No, what is this? What's going on?
So, Flagrant podcast, Andrew Schultz, comedian Akash Singh, started it together, doing it for 7 years. Akash Singh's wife starts going on podcasts, starts talking about her sex life, how she fantasizes about screwing her best friend's husband, talks about money, broke men, talked about how she did threesomes in high school. This is all after she had told Akash when they first started dating that she was a virgin. He started getting backlash about it. He left the podcast that he co-founded because he kept getting ridiculed. And so she's just been going on. Yeah. So what would you do? So if you found out your lady lied to you that you're a virgin and now she's out there making a fool of you, you're a pretty well-established comedian. Are you leaving her?
People just ain't got no balls, dude. That's literally all it is.
And the funny thing too is he was known for making fun of other people's relationships and calling out guys in their relationships, and he ends up being.
Well, it's always the person that pokes fun. Hey, we see it all the time with those, like, was it sexual predators and those pedophiles? They're the first people to call somebody else out, right? The first person to call somebody else out is the person that is behind it, right? And so it's a very similar to like Will Smith. Will Smith is, with Jada Pinkett. It was kind of like the same crap there. And Jada Pinkett slept with, Jada Pinkett slept with?
Will Smith's son's best friend. Her son's best friend. That's wild.
Ugh.
You want to hear?
Like at what point? Like at what point do you just say like, I'd rather just live by myself, dude? Like, even if you got zero chance to land anybody else, which these successful people have a line of women outside of their job or wherever they're at, right? There's always some assistant or there's some somebody in your area that will lock it up. But even that aside, like, bro, it's not even worth it, man. Like, how can you, if you can't stand up to your girl, and if you can't like stand up for yourself, then you got no chance in life, period, bro. You got no chance in life. Like, after all this shit came out about Will Smith, where's his career been at? This dude went up on stage and host smacked Chris Rock. Like, when I grew up, Will Smith was like Mr. Summer, right? Every summer there was another blockbuster. It was always like, it was there was the iRobot thing, and then before that he had like Hitch, and he was just every summer it was blockbuster. I Am Legend. It was one year after another. It was just dude couldn't miss. Then, once the infidelities and the lies and all the crap about his girl came out, literally his career was over. That was it. That was a nail in the coffin. And so it's like, if you can't handle your lady, then, you're pretty much done, man. You're toast. That's it. That's all you got. All you got is your man testicular pride. It's true, man. That's what like once you lose the essence of a man, you got nothing left, dude. Nobody respects you. Here's the thing. Let me ask you. The who was it? The guy, the comedian, what was his name?
Akash Singh.
Let me ask you. Do you find his would you watch his show tomorrow?
No.
If it was on?
No.
Exactly. Have you watched the show before?
Nope.
Would you watch the show before?
I've seen episodes of The Flagrant, but
that's what I'm saying. Like once somebody is, it's gonna speak frankly here. Once you're a bitch about your girl and she controls your life and she's out here fucking around on you and you're not doing nothing about it, like once that's you, and then you're just like, and everyone else is running around behind you like, hey man, Rob's wife was in an alley sucking 3 people's dicks last week.
What the hell?
Like, if that's the narrative, but I mean, it's not far off, right? His supposed virgin wife was having threesomes, talks about she wants to sleep with his best friend, has all these, like, it's the same thing. Doesn't matter. You can be in an alleyway getting it on, or you can be sleeping with your best friend's homie. It's the same thing. There's no difference. There's literally no difference. Do you find it any more disgusting sleeping with somebody in an alleyway or sleeping with your son's best friend as a married woman?
That's just weird.
That's what I'm saying. It's all the same. It all ends up in the same box. Degenerate, right? Degenerate, untrustworthy, good for nothing person. And you can flip I'm speaking from a man's perspective. You could do the same thing for a woman, right? I'm not sitting here saying that it's one direction, it's bidirectional, right? Some guy, and he could just go and gamble the whole house away and, have a gambling addiction, go gamble the house away, or he can go quit his job and then decide he wants to just, golf for the rest of his life and just ignore his family. That is an ultimate betrayal to the family because, he's supposed to be the provider and he's supposed to, be responsible. And, as the woman of the house, you're supposed to not sleep with guys in alleyways. And so it's like, I don't know, dude. And things are so, the country's gone so far off the rails that at this point, it's common nature, right? I mean, they got Will Smith, and you see it all the time. That's why people got AI girlfriends, man. That's why my dating app is where it's at.
The subscription
for $500 a month.
You said 1,000.
Well, there's 2 tiers. The 500, you get 2 dates a month. You get a girlfriend. She will call you her boyfriend. Kind of like the escort. Yes, I know. But this is all done you remember how taxis were a thing? If somebody tried to explain Uber to you, you mean a taxi? No, but it's all done through an app. It's convenient. You just press the buttons and the car pulls up. When you had taxis, you had to call and have an operator, and it was difficult, bro. It was hard to get a taxi. You didn't know what number to call. You know how long it was going to take. Then it was convenient, right? It was on your phone. You knew exactly when the taxi was going to be there. I mean, now you got it on your phone, like Uber. Uber. You know exactly when the taxi is going to come. You know how big the taxi is going to be. You know what the fare is going to cost. Yeah, it's coming, bro. And AI. Or no, excuse me, not AI, but you got an app-driven model, $500. Do you want her to be husky? Do you want her to be slightly overweight? And then, just like in Uber, where you pay for the Mercedes, right? In Uber, you pay for the upgrade, right? Do you want the Uber? What was it? Uber Black, whatever it is, where they pull up a Mercedes and BMWs.
Uber Black.
Yeah, and you pay a little extra for that, Do you want blonde hair and 115 pounds, 25 years old? You got to pay for that one. But, anyways, if you guys want more detail on my app, link in the description. All proceeds go to AI Girls of the Future. Anyways, that's going to do it for today's episode. Thanks for watching Rob's Rant and Ramble. See you next week. Peace.